Who is going to be the first to take that trip to Goon City? Now available on ProWrestlingTees.com, the newest design for Off The Script, taking that trip to Goon City. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script, $19.99. Get yours today on top of version 1 and version 2 of Get Off My TV. Goon City is the newest edition for the Off The Script podcast, hosted by yours truly, JD from NY. Let's all take that bus trip to Goon City collectively, man. Let's populate Goon City and show why this is the #1 fucking podcast on YouTube.com, man. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Is Off The Script, man. The #1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me for Saturday, episode 112. This is part number 2 for your Saturday, man. Thank you guys so much. Unbelievable fucking first episode this weekend for episode 112, or part 1, I should say. Talking about the Bullet Club and the Shield, possibly meeting head-to-head for the major storyline on WWE television this year. We talk about it. There's rumors circulating now that AJ Styles is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. What will happen there? We are imminently waiting for Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson to debut on WWE television. This could be the perfect way to introduce them to the WWE Universe. Going to be very, very interesting to see. I give you my opinions on that, plus so much more in part 1. I'll leave you an annotation in the video right now, or if you want to go down to the description, you can click on the link that I provided down in the description below. But this is episode 112. We got a ton of news on Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose, what happened at Wrestlemania with their fucking terrible street fight. We got news on Brock Lesnar and when his return is going to be, what his next big feud will be, all that plus so much more, including John Cena's status, when he will return to the WWE full-time on Monday Night Raw. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, at JDfromNY206, we are dangerously close to 50,000 subscribers, so if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. Follow me on here and become a member of Team JD. WrestleCrate.com if you guys want the best pro wrestling subscription service delivered to your front door. That is ProWrestlingTees.com /ProWrestlingTees. I got my fucking links messed up. WrestleCrate.com. Use the coupon code JD sent me for an instant 10% off. That's off the regular crate or the ultimate crate. Whichever you prefer, you get an instant 10% off your first purchase. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. And then ProWrestlingTees.com. I got my fucking links messed up, man. I am excited about the new t-shirt. Goon City. Go and get yours today, man. There are now 4 t-shirts for you guys to choose from on my online shop at ProWrestlingTees.com /Off The Script. Beautiful. They ship worldwide, no matter where you are. Join me and fill up the city of Goon City, man. Let's all take that collective fucking bus ride over and show them how we live down in Goon City, man. Thank you guys for supporting, and to those who actually purchased the t-shirts already. I did not know they were even available until Joe Cronin bought himself one. And I'm like, holy shit, Goon City is up and available, man. So thank you to everybody that has purchased the new shirt. Go and get yours today, man. I would greatly appreciate it. It's also a great way to support the podcast right here on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, AudioBoom, and YouTube.com. Speaking of, there is a new Off The Script podcast, episode 12, where I just go off and give you my thoughts about WrestleMania weekend. It is perfectly titled Life After WrestleMania 32. I told you so. So make sure you guys go check that out all over the place. And if you're on iTunes, a 5-star rating would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's talk about Brock Lesnar. We're going to talk about this one, man, because this is the most bizarre story of the week. WWE turns down Dean Ambrose's request to make WrestleMania match with Brock Lesnar more brutal. I mean, it's WrestleMania. Why the fuck not? WWE superstar Dean Ambrose is known for going to the extreme as well as any ECW guy you might find out there in current day 2016. Known for his work in CZW before he arrived in WWE, Ambrose has proven that he can go just as crazy as any in a hardcore setting, and definitely anyone you might find in the world today. Clearly, we're in a PG era with those types of things that are not allowed in WWE these days. That being said, he was still facing off with the Beast, Brock Lesnar, who has no issue with going in and getting his hands dirty in a gritty type match. He actually seems to prefer it. Managed by the former ECW owner Paul Heyman, Brock has been known in the past for being brutal in the ring, whether it was a stiff match like you might have seen from him in New Japan Pro Wrestling years ago, or his straight-up wrestling style like what we've seen with him against Kurt Angle. So going up against Dean Ambrose in a no-holds-barred street fight, along with all the crazy stuff in mind, would be an easy transition, right? Well, you might think that, but WWE has rules. According to Cage Side Seats, Dean Ambrose lobbied to WWE officials to do some brutal spots both on him and performed by him on Brock Lesnar. However, WWE turned down his request and we ended up getting the match that we did, which was fucking terrible. He was very open to equal opportunity brutalization, which was very nice of him. Many people were left disappointed in the match, as we felt it should have gone on longer and that there would have been more to take away from it with Ambrose. Some felt that this street fight was lackluster compared to what fans really expected. Fans also felt that Ambrose should have won, especially after WWE booked him to look so strong going into the match with Brock. It also felt like fans online were getting annoyed with suplexes after a while, as it seems like Brock Lesnar has been doing the same move over and over and over again for the last couple of matches he has been a part of. It made sense for him to win, yet Ambrose and WWE, obviously Ambrose lost and WWE went with Lesnar winning instead. It claimed, or WWE claimed, that they went back and forth on a lot of the winners for WrestleMania on the day of the show. Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose match might have gone the other direction, but who really knows? The major disappointment for fans was that Ambrose did not use the barbed wire bat or the chainsaw. He was pictured with them, but neither ended up actually being included in the match. The bat alone could have been used. The chainsaw might have been too dangerous to use, but it looked like it didn't have the teeth on the blade. But in reality, the bat should have been used, being that it was given to him by Mick Foley. The problem is that WWE did not want things to get too brutal. Each time the bat is used on a shirtless man, it seems to turn things bloody. There was no blood in the match, which was good for WWE, which gets frightened at the mere sight of blood, which NXT TakeOver Dallas, for confirmation, Samoa Joe started to bleed and everybody fucking panicked. At the end of the day, Ambrose was in the match with Lesnar, which should have been good enough for people to take Ambrose as a serious contender for any championship he decides to go after. However, that did not occur. It really felt as if WWE took all the momentum Dean Ambrose had, took it right back, and put it down. Old Yeller style. Both Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar were not used on Monday Night Raw this week, most likely to sell what happened in the match, but it is expected both will return soon. Ambrose should be back on TV this week for SmackDown or next week on Raw. I am not sure if he's on SmackDown. I did not read the spoilers. He should be on Monday Night Raw, I assume, but it is uncertain when Lesnar will make his return. He is rumored to contend for the WWE World title again, but we'll have to see if that rumor ends up being fact. Now, you guys know my opinion on the fucking street fight that happened. I mean, it made no sense. Everything that happened in that match was absolutely lame right down to the core of what WWE is. You have a match with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose that is labeled a no-holds-barred street fight. We didn't see a street fight. When I think of a street fight, I think of leaving the arena, fighting in the crowd, leaving the arena and fighting in the fucking streets, literally, using everything in the back, fucking, boiler room brawl style. I mean, seriously, this was 12 minutes, and it was nothing but suplexes, and it was a complete letdown. Not only that, Dean Ambrose was built up as a strong contender to challenge Triple H for the title, and then be put in a match with Brock Lesnar, and they didn't make him look good at all. It was a glorified squash match at WrestleMania. He was given toys and gifts from two of the most hardcore entities in professional wrestling. Chainsaw Charlie, a.k.a. Terry Funk, and Mick Foley, Mankind. I don't understand what the fuck WWE was thinking, where they had these segments on TV and none of these toys that he was presented were used. I understand WWE is afraid of blood, but it's WrestleMania. Why did you have to go an extra 45 minutes and you couldn't give these guys the adequate amount of time to sell a street fight? I don't get it. It didn't make Brock Lesnar look good. It didn't make Dean Ambrose look good. And it didn't do anything to enhance WrestleMania. I don't get it. I really don't. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event in front of 90,000+ people. And this is the fucking match that you give us for WrestleMania? This match was more adequate to be filmed for fucking main event than it did WrestleMania. And like I said on my review, WrestleMania 32 was nothing but a glorified Monday Night Raw on pay-per-view for 7 hours with fucking fireworks and a fancy set. That's all it was. In fact, Roadblock was actually a better pay-per-view than WrestleMania 32. And you can quote me on that. So WWE turns down Dean Ambrose's request to make WrestleMania match more brutal. Listen, this is WrestleMania. WWE should intentionally pull out all the stops. And then they want to know why people thought WrestleMania was one of the worst of all time. This match is looked down upon as one of those reasons why WrestleMania failed creatively. I don't give a shit how much money WrestleMania made, upwards towards the amount of $17 million. You can make all the fucking money in the world, bro. But all I know is, for a fact, creatively, WrestleMania was a failure. And everything that led up to this match for 6 weeks was flushed right down the toilet because of what happened at WrestleMania. Now, where did they go? I don't know. What happens to Ambrose? Hopefully that Shield Bullet Club idea works because he needs something important to do. I don't see him challenging for world titles right now, but I have news on Brock Lesnar and his next feud and when he will return. Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 32, Ambrose, street fight. We know the deal about that. But he ended up defeating Dean Ambrose. It was a feud that lasted a couple of months and ended in brutal fashion. That's what the report says, anything but brutal. But it's now over. Many wondered what is next in line for the Beast Incarnate, and Paul Heyman has hinted at plans in place. But it may not happen for quite a while. Lesnar has pretty much worked nonstop for WWE the past 3 months. It is expected that he will be taking a break soon, and he did not appear on Monday Night Raw this week. But he wasn't scheduled for it anyway, okay? He was not scheduled to be on Monday Night Raw. Many fans are wondering where he will go from here and what his next feud will be. Even if Lesnar is off WWE television for a while, Paul Heyman spoke with Bleacher Report late Sunday evening and let everyone know exactly what is next for his client. And I quote, "There is certainly unfinished business with the Wyatt family, which will be addressed when Brock Lesnar feels like it, at his whim, at his leisure, and convenience, and at his pleasure as well." Obviously, the goal for Brock Lesnar is always to be reigning, and here's the key word, defending undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So whomever comes out of the Triple H versus Roman Reigns match for the title is going to have Brock Lesnar breathing down their neck. This is not overly expected or overly unexpected as a program between Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt, but that has been building since before the Royal Rumble back in January. It was shelved for a number of reasons, and then Wyatt suffered a back injury that kept him off their scheduled match at Roadblock. It's been said for a few weeks now that WWE has bigger plans in place for the Wyatt family and Bray Wyatt, which was certainly seen at WrestleMania when Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family were embarrassed by John Cena and The Rock, where Eric Rowan lost in 6 seconds, and Bray Wyatt looked like a fucking clown. Jesus Christ. Some big plans there, WWE. And those plans couldn't be contained at WrestleMania. At the pay-per-view, he was taken out, like I said, along with Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan by John Cena and The Rock. Monday Night Raw this week, the Wyatt family appeared to start a new feud with the League of Nations for whatever reason. Illogical fucking booking. Maybe it's a way to tide them over and give them something to do until Brock Lesnar returns. As of now, it is not known when Brock Lesnar is going to be back on WWE television. WWE Live Events page doesn't have him scheduled for a single Raw or SmackDown throughout all of April or May. He isn't scheduled to be at Payback on May 1st or Extreme Rules on May 22nd either. Brock Lesnar recently spoke with the Associated Press about the schedule and deal he has with WWE, and it may have reached its limit. Everyone knows he signed on for a limited amount of dates and paid for those dates. WWE renegotiated the deal last year and added more dates, which brought him more money. As of the current time, though, Lesnar has hit a wall. He says, and I quote, "Vince McMahon got his checkbook out and he's writing more checks. But I have a limit, and we are at that limit now." Brock Lesnar went on to say that he looks at wrestling as his job and that he's not caught up into it like maybe I'm supposed to be. He says that he clocks in and out and knows that people pay to watch him do what he does. Lesnar guesses that they find him entertaining, but in the end, he's proud of the money in my bank account. Some wrestlers may not agree with Lesnar looking at their profession in that manner, but different things to different people. All jobs work that way. Brock Lesnar has worked a lot for Brock Lesnar in the past 3 months, and he's likely not going to be seen again until the summer. WWE has a couple more years with him, but for now, he will be out of storylines and off television. When he returns, look for the Beast to go after Bray Wyatt and eventually the WWE title, whomever is holding that title at the time he returns. I consider my job just a job. I don't enjoy what I'm doing. I clock in and I clock out, and I can give them the fucking finger when I walk out of them, and I don't give a shit what happens there. It's the same with Brock Lesnar. You can't fault him for that. He's back to make a fucking living. He doesn't have to enjoy what he does. As long as he shows up, fucking performs the way we know he can, and that's it. He goes home, he gets money, Vince McMahon is happy with what he is paying for, and that's all. You don't have to enjoy the business. You don't have to enjoy what you do, but as long as you come to work knowing you have to fucking work and perform at 100%. That's all I have to say about that. And he said that on the Stone Cold podcast when it was on the WWE Network. So, leave it at that. As far as Brock Lesnar goes, the most likely feud will be Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. If I had to make a logical guess, I think Roman Reigns is going to be tied up with something else when it comes to SummerSlam. But Brock Lesnar really needs to feud with Bray Wyatt, not only to fucking make logic and sense of what happened between the two factions, Camp Heyman and the Wyatt family. Hopefully, Luke Harper will be back by then. Maybe the Wyatt family brings along another Wyatt family member to make it another foursome again. I don't know. But they really need to get Bray Wyatt back on track with some momentum. If this does happen, Bray Wyatt has to win this match. Bray Wyatt has to win this match with Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry. He hasn't had one big feud victory yet. Everything he's been doing has been a loss. And Vince McMahon, we discussed it on I don't know where there's a report saying that Vince McMahon looks at Bray Wyatt as the next Undertaker. He can lose matches without losing momentum, but he's been losing matches for 3 years. There comes a breaking point in which the fans and the audience are going to give up and not care. You do not want that to happen with Bray Wyatt. He's too talented of a worker and too talented of a fucking performer to be thrown away because people don't care anymore. You have to get him a win, and if it goes on to feud with Brock Lesnar, or if he does go on to feud with Brock Lesnar, he needs the victory more than Lesnar does. Lesnar will be fine if he loses. Lesnar will get his championship match. Bray Wyatt needs momentum, plain and simple. The original plans for Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania have been revealed. A lot of people aren't very pleased about the match that Ambrose and Lesnar had at WrestleMania this past weekend. The complaints are it was too short, it wasn't as entertaining as many thought it would be, and Lesnar going over so easily was predictable, and it hurt Ambrose's momentum that was red hot leading into the event. Others thought the match was fine for what it was, and it was fun. Ambrose, I don't know who the fuck thought that. Jesus Christ. Those are the casual fans that are cancer to the fucking product. Ambrose versus Lesnar was always going to be a mismatch on paper, but many people assumed that other factors would play a part in the match. More like the Wyatt family interfering. That was expected at some point during the match to even the odds to give Dean Ambrose the win over the Beast, which I would have preferred, and set up Wyatt versus Lesnar, and you have another chapter to this story. Apparently, WWE was the original plan, according to the report from DWN.com. Obviously, that did not happen, and WWE decided that the Wyatts were very suited for the Rock segment later on in the night. Give me a fucking break. Whoever decided on that should be terminated. Many people are definitely disappointed, but all Ambrose needs is a good win, and Brock Lesnar will most likely be back sooner rather than later to set up a feud with Bray Wyatt. That is asking to become reality. So, Bray Wyatt was originally planned for the match, and WWE scrapped it because they thought burying the Wyatt family was going to be better at the hands of John Cena and The Rock. Really makes sense. Unfucking believable. John Cena isn't expected back full-time for a few more months. John Cena made a special return at WrestleMania during the segment between The Rock and the Wyatt family. He helped the People's Champion survive an attack from the Wyatts. However, it seems that Cena won't be sticking around. His WrestleMania appearance was just for WrestleMania 32, and he needs to heal some more before he can step back into the ring full-time. The 15-time world champion recently claimed that his rehab has been going very well and that, and I quote, he should have been back in the ring 2 weeks ago. However, he did not return during this week's Raw, and that is because Cena is still not medically cleared, even though some sources like Meltzer stated he was, according to a report from Daily Wrestling News. Having said that, he's obviously in great condition because it's been 3 months and he was seen in good enough shape to do the angle at WrestleMania with The Rock, but working a full match is a different story. The expectation is that John Cena will be back in June or July. He'll definitely be a part of SummerSlam in a few months. It's going to be a very interesting scenario to see where Cena fits in to the WWE picture by then. That is the latest on John Cena. I'm glad they're not rushing him back. WWE right now has more than enough talent to get people to enjoy Monday Night Raw. Hopefully they continue down that path. He's not really needed right now, being that they promoted a lot of guys or demoted a lot of guys from NXT. That should hold everyone over until John Cena makes his return. At that point, we'll see Rollins, Orton, Cesaro is back, Cena's going to be back, Neville's going to be back, and WWE's going to be stacked. There's no reason why SummerSlam shouldn't blow WrestleMania out of the fucking water when it comes to New York in August, man. So John Cena is not expected back full-time for at least a few more months. So bank on that. And that is Off the Script, man. That is part 2 of episode 112. I will be back with more on Sunday. Currently, I am in Atlantic City. You guys will not be getting Off the Script at its usual time at 11 a.m. on Sunday, okay? I am getting these done before I actually hop in the car and drive down there, okay? It's Thursday right now. I'm recording this for Saturday and Friday, respectively. I am not going to stress myself out about recording another video just in case there's more news that needs to be reported. So, I want you guys to bear with me for 1 week and 1 week only. Off the Script Part 3 will not be live at 11 a.m., but it will be live as soon as I get back sometime in the evening. So look forward to that, okay? I will remind you guys on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206, and follow me everywhere down below. If you missed any videos over the past week, everything you need is in the description, all right? I'll see you guys sometime Sunday night. Until then, this is JD, this is Off the Script, and I'll see you guys later on Sunday evening.